Few people know that language translation is one of the most complicated tasks in AI. And the reason is very simple. Language is the most human thing we have. All the knowledge that we have in our brains get converted into a much more compressed space that we use to communicate. When we say a few words, there is much, much more meaning that is connected to those. For that reason, when you try to take a text and translate it into another language, you cannot really learn all these things just from the text. You need our experience as humans in order to decode the meaning of that. So the idea today is that we're having a chat, and very privileged for me, because after 18 years of working with someone, I'm able to summarize some of the evolution that we made over such a very long amount of time. And I will tell you why this is important, to do a summary of that experience and progress over time. But before going to that, I would like to show you some of the new trends. So what's happening now in language translation? And then we go back to the longer term period. So there is basically two things I want to show you that impressed me, that was not there for many, many years. And suddenly for 1 year, it went from 0 to be the most used app in smart speakers. So over the last year, we developed a voice translator for this device. I cannot say the name of the device, otherwise it will be activated. Amazon Alexa. So we built this translator, and in about 9 months, 1.3 million people started using it, becoming the most, if not the most used app, surely between the top 3 apps in smart speakers. So I would like to show you how it works and the things that we're working on. So Alexa, open Translated.
Welcome to Translated Skill. What would you like to translate?
How do you say "it's a wonderful day" in Japanese?
It's a wonderful day in Japanese is
素晴らしい1日だ。
You can say repeat, slow down, or just ask for another translation. What would you like to do?
Slow down.
素晴らしい1日だ。
What else?
Stop.
Goodbye.
So it's a very simple interaction, and a kind of interaction that did not exist before. So with the era of smart speakers, we're getting into a new kind of devices where there is no UI. So we have to build new kind of interactions. And we built that, and it became widely used. But I think that the reason why it's widely used is not because it's useful. No, I think that the reason why it's there is that because it's fun. People want to know something in another language, how it gets said. I don't think that anyone will do business out of it. But it does something even worse. It puts your handicap in language in the middle of the room. So we're not talking about technology where the center is the human. We're talking about technology where the technology becomes the center of the conversation. We put this up in the middle. Now you can talk to someone else, you can do a translation, and you're putting your handicap, not knowing the language, in front of everyone. So some technology come out, but then we need to think how we evolve these things and how we put the human in it. So I would like to show you something else that we're doing that has got a completely different approach. Actually, it's got lower functionality, but having lower functionality is able to put back the man in the center. So imagine you're in a room full of people that talk other languages, and you want to discreetly understand what other people are saying. You don't want to put your handicap in the middle. You just want to know. You want to be informed. So we designed this app that you turn on the app, whatever gets said in any language gets translated into your language. So what we have here is Italian to English. I will turn on the app. And imagine you were in the table with two beautiful Russian models, and you want to know if they are actually saying something positive about you or not. So I can say, I would say in Italian, some people will understand what I say. Mia moglie pensa che sia meglio non sapere quello che le modelle dicono. You see? I don't know if you can see it, but it's probably not good to know. So you can just put this in the middle. Wherever language they're speaking, it will translate into your language. Now, the reason why I show you this is because it's new trends. New interesting trends happened this year, voice translation, and a different kind of user experience and interaction happening. But this is totally uninteresting for me, the reality. What we're doing is great, we're having a lot of traction, but what I want to share with you today is something completely different. This kind of things takes the attention, but what really changed the world is those small changes that happen across a very long amount of time that we as humans we don't perceive. So imagine something that changes 0.1% each month. Now, we don't perceive the change, but after 10 years, we're completely in a totally different area. So that's why I think it's very worth it to share the experience that we had in helping professional translators with interaction and what happened during this time. Not because I want you to create a competitor of translators, I hope not. I think that you can take the same ideas and project those to other industries that where human interaction with artificial intelligence would work. So let me back here to the slide. And so the lucky thing that I have today is not the screen. Yeah. But it's more the opportunity to have not just us, so there's some people from Translated here that have been building those technologies. So we are the tech people, but we also have Sylvia, that is...
Should I stand up? Okay.
Come with us.
Yes.
Sylvia has been the human. See, for the last 18 years.
I've been the mice, actually, together with all the others. Yes, I've been with you for 18 years, yes.
Okay. And not in the same room, because as many professional translators, they work worldwide. At Translated, we cooperate with them from distance. I could not survive 18 years having Sylvia close to me.
Me neither. Well, if you can stop saying 18 years so that people don't guess my age, is that possible? Okay, thank you.
And so, what I would like to do is first introducing you to the problem, okay? What does it mean to do translation, how it works? When you understand the tool where professional translators are working on, the process, then we go down and deep what happened when we first released some technology, some AI for translators, and then the following one. So, maybe Sylvia, do you want to do this?
Okay, I will.
Explain.
I don't have my glasses, so I don't see. Okay, fine. So basically, Marco, of course, is going to talk to you about what's behind all this. But this is what we use as interface. What he produced. This is the result of 18 years of work. So this is the update today. And this is what we use as professional translators. I'll be very quick. This is the interface where you can put a file. This tool can process all these formats files. So you can, just by seeing this, you can imagine how faster we can work. When I started working as a translator, we had the paper, okay, and we had the pen, or we had a typewriter, okay? Imagine that many years ago when I started, when I spent 2 million liras, which would be over 1,000 euros today, just to buy a machine that was able to save and memorize 10 lines And I thought that was the most amazing thing that I could have, because what we lack is memory, okay? So now, and and it was very difficult. I mean, if you're talking about a doc file, it's easy, but you can imagine when you have more complex things from websites or even a PDF, it's very difficult. If you can't scan it, it's very difficult to work on it. So we can process this. We upload the file on this tool, and what happens is the file, for example, this is a Word file. What happens is that the file gets divided into what we call segments or cells. So it uses the full stop or the question mark or whatever to divide it. And what happens through these tools is that they give us suggestions. And we can use the suggestions we have here and correct them, edit them. We can rewrite it completely, but at the same time, this tool saves everything, and we build this huge translation memory. What happens is the machine is helping, so you just by seeing this, you can imagine how quicker and faster the process is, okay?
Show the machine.
Yes. And this is, for example, what you saw before. This is what we call translation memory, so it's basically what we already have and we can put in the machine, but this is called MT suggestion. So this is the machine giving me a suggestion. So basically machine translation, and as you can see, it's basically perfect or almost perfect, okay? So we can edit that.
I will leave the English people to judge.
Yes, but it's understandable, okay? And the result, you put this. It didn't tell me. It's a joke, okay. You see, this is basically what is behind. We can look at it as translators. We can see how many changes we make from the suggestions to what the result is. And the fact that I change only a couple of words means this is really a great result. Doesn't mean that the result that we get and we deliver to the client is great, but still is great for us as people. Imagine writing everything and writing just 3 words. So where is the file that was the result? You took it out.
Yeah, we didn't have a file.
We did.
I think that was...
We did. Okay.
So, and then I want to go back to the problem, the definition. So this is our professional translators work. Take a file, split into sentences, and then you receive suggestions from the machine. At the beginning, it was their own memory. So whatever they have translated, they will receive it as a suggestion. Then we went to a point where we were collecting the cumulative knowledge. So everything that every translator has translated, and we have a centralized TM, so she can receive the suggestion from other people. This is the point where AI is still what you see in machine translation is that for every unseen sentences, we use all the previous correction to guess a good translation. All the previous text that has been translated to train. But at the beginning, I would like to tell you in human-computer interaction a few big errors that we made. The first one was the problem about emotions and something called a context switch in the human brain. Actually, we use this term context switch because it comes from computers. It's the cost of having multiple activities running on CPU in a concurrent way. When you ask the CPU to do too many things, well, you have some time to wait to move from one task into another. So what happened I think in about 2003, there was the time of something called rule-based machine translation. This was not really AI. How we were doing translations, and you may remember Babelfish, Alta or the first translator from Google. So how that technology worked was basically using a dictionary to map each word, and then having some rules, animate rules, to reorder the words. So, in adjective, in English, would go before the noun. So, red house, casa rossa, or revert it. Obviously, you can understand using a dictionary translating word to words is not helping a lot. But we, the engineers, we believe that there was an incredible suggestion for the translator. So what happened is that we took this technology, pre-translated those documents, and gave it to Sylvia. I don't know if you remember what was your feeling.
Unfortunately, I do remember. The thing is, personally, as I am as a person, but also other of my colleagues, I'm very open to change. I believe in embracing change. So I was very happy about this. But you're talking about emotions. There are two things. First of all, fear. Okay, I heard talks about fears today. Fear is a very bad animal. Okay, and the fear of a machine interacting with me, but in a way the machine commands, of course, takes fears. And the other thing is, then there is another thing, apart from fear, the communication among humans, and the communication between translators and engineers was totally lost.
You're not ranking us within engineers, within humans.
No. Okay, yeah, probably, or you are not. I mean, but really, we didn't communicate at all. They didn't believe us, and we didn't believe them. They thought they could teach us how to write. And for us, there is one adjective that describes translators. We are very, very picky, and also we take things always the wrong way. So you're telling me I don't know Italian, really? So this was the thing. But also, so the result was total rejection. Also because what they gave us was such a bad result that I had to work twice more. My effort, I had to correct every word, basically. So I would have rather had a blank file rather than their suggestions. So there was total rejection, total refusal, and lack of trust, okay? So we said, okay, go on, do your machine translations, use it for your, what did we say? We argued about it, and so total failure.
At that time, they already had a few thousand translators.
Yes.
None of them accepted the change. No one of them accepted to use suggestions coming from the machine to deliver work. And that was the first big lesson learned. And it was this concept of context switch. So the way we analyze it, if machine translation were useful, was about measuring something called post-editing effort, which is the difference between what we suggest and what the translator would produce at the end. So we measured at that time a 47% change. So if you take a word of 10 sentences, 10 words, a sentence of 10 words, you will have about 4.7 changes on average. And we thought that was an incredible result. What we didn't consider into the equation is the cost of analyzing the interaction with the machine. Each time the machine is suggesting something to the human, you have to understand and process that suggestion. Every interface that will pop up a text, an image, whatever it is, in our case, text, a suggestion, requires effort in the human brain to process it. Exactly in the same way we have content switch in CPUs, the human brain doesn't like interruptions. The cost of interaction was bigger than the cost of the value of what the suggestion was bringing. So that was the first big lesson learned, and we worked hard to solve the problem. And in about 2004, from 2004, I would say immediately, the year after, we started working, as many other researchers in the industry, in a machine learning approach to language. And that was called statistical machine translation. So instead of teaching rules, we said, okay, now we need to learn at least sequences, not just words. We took all the content that was in the web and started learning translations from the different examples. And how you do it, you count how many times house and casa appears together, and you learn by that house is translation of casa. And you do it for single words, bigrams, trigrams, fourgrams, so sequences. This was what the first release of Google Translate that you see out. It's called Statistical Machine Translation. And it was developed by three German people, well, one Italian German and two German, Franzo, Philip Cohen, and Marcello Federico. So Franz went to work for Google. Marcello and Philip has been working with us for the last 10 years. And that nice technology showed immediately an increase from 27% to 33% average edit. We knew that at that time, calculating the content switch cost, we were helping translators, and that was give them a benefit. So we shipped that technology to Sylvia, and again, she refused to use it.
We refused to use it because we didn't believe them, because they didn't listen anyway. I stressed before, when I was talking to Marco, I was stressing the big thing about communication among humans. It's basic. If we don't talk, we'll never, and we have now in 2018, we have come to the point where we talk to each other, and sometimes, and you just needed a mouse. So now we talk, and they seem to listen, okay? And but at that time, I just didn't want to hear about it. I didn't care. I mean, because they you know, sometimes engineers, they actually trick us. They tell you, no, but it's not the same thing, okay? It's not. Believe me, it's not rule-based. Now it's just statistically based. And I said, yeah, right. You know, you don't believe them. But then it actually worked because...
Well, what happened really is that so the lesson learned for us is that if you make a big mistake in human-computer interaction, you will have to wait a long time before you have another one. So that was one. The technology was actually working pretty well. So what we did was something very bad. We cheated translators.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, okay.
Some of them. And, I think she got it. And so what happened is that what translators trust a lot is suggestions coming from other humans. Okay? So when they see another suggestion coming from a human, they believe they're theirs. So we started injecting machine translations into what is called translation memory results without telling them. So we were claiming that that was coming from a human. Now, I guess that you were thinking this human is pretty stupid.
No, I thought he's a man.
Okay, so, but what happened is that we used that trick, and that destroyed the problem of bias, of prejudice against the technology. So we started collecting, as you see in the previous slide, we were recording the amount of changes. We don't only record the amount of changes, we also record the amount of time that is spent away. And we correlate that with what they do without suggestions. And so we already measured that 33% plus spending the effort. You're basically doubling your productivity. And just to understand the impact of this, professional translators have been translating at about 3,000 words per day for the last 7,000 years. That is the capacity of our brain. We as humans, this is the amount of knowledge we can process. So the cost of translation is highly related to this limitation of how we are. 3,000 words a day. So some super translators, like Sylvia, the long experience, will do maybe, even without help of a machine, she will do 4,000, 5,000. At the beginning, we'll do 1,500. But no human exists here that can do 20,000 words per day. This is simply not within the capacity of what we have. So the fact that we could double the average production capacity, it was an incredible thing. So we keep investing it, and what happened is that computational capacity increases more, and a new technique became available again. And that is called neural networks. Neural networks existed since many, many years, but they were not a little expensive computation. So in about 2000, if I remember correctly, 2010, 2010, we started the research on that field. In about 2016, we proposed that to translators. Now, statisticals was learning sequences of 3 words. With neural, we were able to learn the correlation of words across the entire sentence. So you start by, if 2 things in a sentence are related at a distance of 10 words, we can still learn and pair them correctly. When we pushed that technology out to translator, we went from 37% to 27%. Again, a year after, we realized that still machine keeps making all the time the same mistake. So, and that was very boring for translators. Can you describe that, the feeling when the machine keeps doing the same mistake?
Well, it's very frustrating because they, meaning the engineers, they tell you that the machine is learning and the machine is learning nothing. That's what you think. For example, there is a word which was typical, has been typical for many years, and that word made me understand if the machine had learned. The word is club. Club in Italian can be many things, but for some reason the machine would always give me the translation in Italian mazza, which is when you play golf. Now, really, like I had no translation where there was where the golf sport was, included. So I thought, and then when suddenly, all of a sudden, the machine didn't write mazza, but wrote, whatever it was, like a football club, and I thought, okay, they got it, but for some time I was really very frustrated. And another thing was, we're talking about English only, okay, because other languages are different. For example, the machine for a long time didn't understand the concordance with the adjectives, which made me understand that, because in Italian, the adjective goes with the noun, okay, and changes the ending. So when the machine started to do that, I thought the machine was beginning to learn.
And then a completely different approach to AI. These two things were solved by completely moving from engineers sitting inside an office and working alone, and expanding and talking to other fields. Neuroscience was one. So the two big enhancements in helping the machine to learn concordance and long sequences was something that came out from something called attention in information technology that was inspired by the attention mechanism in the human brain. So humans, when they see a sentence, they don't spend the exact amount of time on each word. They basically quickly understand what is important, and they spend more time on that, they build a structure on that, and then they move forward. So by implementing attention, we were able then to focus on the fact that two things were related at a very big distance. What she's meaning about CLEB is not a learning from science, is not a learning from human-computer interaction. And the difference between a machine and the human is that when we talk each other, we will adapt the language immediately. Our terminology, the tone, everything gets adapted instantly to the person we're talking to. And we're very, very good at doing that. While machine, no. I mean, they've been trained to translate that way, they keep doing that. So in 2017, we introduced something called a neural adaptive machine translation. There was basically something there with a feedback loop. So this neural network are now able to be retrained in real time as soon as the translator is providing a suggestion. Sylvia is correcting a sentence, and basically the machine learns from a single interaction with the human. So what is very interesting for me that from going into a completely engineering task, now we're expanding into the need of collaboration with neuroscience to make the next step. 47%. Now, with neural machine translation adaptive, we are at 22%. So this progress, if you talk to any professional translator, they will never notice that progress on a monthly basis. Every month, if you see the average, this will be about 0.1% improved each month. But if you go back and see it 2 years' time, every change. That has been significant. So these are the kind of things that are very interesting from an innovation and investment standpoint. Because these are trends that keep growing constantly in one direction, very easy to predict where they're going, but it's very hard to see them if you analyze a short amount of time. If you're starting a startup and you're deciding what to do in 3 months, you will not see that change happening in 3 times you evaluate your investment. So, but those people that are able to capture those, they can really plan very interesting things. Now, what is very interesting for me also is another element, which is the economic element and making patterns to be sustainable. If we want to go to one day where translation is free and available to anyone, real-time, high quality, we need to collect data, and actually what we're doing today is exactly that. She's correcting the error of the machines every time they make it. And so we need to collect the data, we need computational power, it will come, we don't have to do it. And we need better algorithms to process it. And we need more interaction with neuroscience to do that, and probably at one point with design. One thing that happened is that, if you remember, she was fearing the change at the very beginning. She was thinking that the machine, at one point, by teaching the machine, you were losing your job at the very beginning. And
Yeah, I was thinking of changing it, yeah.
And this will apply to self-driving cars. Drivers, it will go away. The machine will drive for you and you lose the job. So what happened in our industry? So for you, what happened over this 10 years period? Did you earn more money? Are you earning more money than before or less?
Hopefully, yes, I do earn more money. I actually doubled my income with that, and spending half of the time on a translation. So I know it's very bad to think, does it work for me? Yes, I earn more, but that's, why not? So the thing is, so yes, I saw that. I saw that my quality, can I say that about quality? My quality is a little bit different, meaning that probably my translations are less personalized, but there is more consistency, and consistency is one of the key elements of a good translation. If I have a special client that has special requirements, of course, I take then the translation and I spend more time on it, but the translation will cost more, so what's the big deal, okay? But basically, yes, I had a lot of improvements in my pocket, so that's a good thing.
So strangely, so it means that but this happened because you kept doing the same thing, or because you worked?
Because I embraced this thing. Yeah, I was part of it, yes.
But do you think that the job of doing translation today is the same of 10
It's totally different. It's totally different. I started with scrap paper, basically, and a writing machine. Today, what I'm doing is I still have my own translation, but, everything is, 50%, if not more, is done by a machine. And with adaptive translation, it actually gets my style. I was telling him the other day, I found an adverb that I'm very proud of. Very few people use it, and I found it in the machine translation. This means the machine translation took my adverb, So I thought, oh, geez, this is me.
And that is the beautiful part. The bad part, I think also you said, that quality, you're getting standardized. So
Yes.
The fact that you're receiving suggestions consistently, you become a little, can I say, I don't want to offend, lazy, in a certain way, accept when the machine provides
That's
output.
the risk.
Okay?
That's basically the
So,
risk.
in a certain way, and that's the last point I wanted to mention on this human-computer interaction, is the problem of dependence. We now depend on the machine. If the machine translation is not there, translator will lose immediately his profit margin. because we optimize everything considering that. Sylvia will become less productive, will not be able to deliver translations on time, and all that productivity that she had, she will lose it. So it's worth mentioning that the way we decided to go to make a sustainable path for collecting the data and collaborating with humans was based on that log that you see there. So we measured how much time translator will save using the machine, and we basically split the benefits between us and the translators. This was a hard decision for us because we have invested in building the technology. We could have go there and say, you get paid only for the words that you actually change. If we do so, what will happen? Nobody of the good professional translator on air would like to work with us. We stop collecting the information, we stop delivering quality translation to our customers. So we decided to split, to keep people on board, and that created a completely different industry where some people like Sylvia doubled their revenues, some other, I think that, I'm not sure if their revenue decreases, those that didn't embrace the technology or not, I don't know because we work with those that do. But I guess that something happened. So there was a big change, but that change provided actually more opportunity. So I would like to, to summarize, there is an element, every time you do human-computer interaction, what happened for us, you have to make sure about the content switch problem. So you have to make sure that whatever the machine is providing to the human, the cost of analyzing that information is not bigger than the value that the interaction is happening. You have to manage the emotional part. And every error you make in designing those kind of interaction will create a prejudice in people. And then we have to cheat in order to get back them to use the technology. And then there is this element about sustainable economic models or patterns that will allow the transition. I think that the same thing will happen for self-driving cars. I don't think that people can push self-driving cars in the market directly, because how we train self-driving cars today is by observing how humans drive. And so we still have this feedback loop, and we still have to think how that those people will evolve. So some of them, I think, will become much richer, and in general, I think that most of the translators with this path increases their revenues. But if we want to put this a little forward, so 3,000 words per day, with this technology today, after 10 years, we can go, I think sometimes you do 8,000, 9,000 words a day.
I did 10,000, then I went to drink champagne because to celebrate, yes.
Okay. So what's the next limit now? And so if we improve at that, we increase at that to 10,000, what is the limit that we can go? Can we go to 30,000? And now can we go there? Now, if you start looking at that, you realize that the problem is no longer with the quality of what the machine suggests, because two humans will correct themselves 11%. So that is the benchmark. And the reason why, even if you produce a perfect translation, everyone has got his own style. So they will spend time in reading that and adapting them to the style that they have, even if that is absolutely fine for the customer. Every one of us has a different brain. So we really need to find ways now to push to Sylvia. So if we push multiple suggestions, we try immediately, that the machine can generate, it was completely lost because she has to analyze on those. We go back to the content switch. So how can we do this? Cannot be the screen, because something on the screen takes so much time. It cannot be typing the interaction with this side, because that is too intensive. There is many companies that today are working on Neuralink, connection that goes from the computer directly to the brain. There is an area of the brain called the vagus area, where the language is formed. And in this area, basically, we can inject knowledge, and you could potentially extract knowledge from that. So we interact with computers today through a very small channel, a mouse and a keyboard. That's a worst interaction ever. in every profession, think about a pilot, a car driver, or a pianist. They use everything. They use all their fingers. They use their feet. They use they turn their head, the vision, including ears, to check if the engine is working properly. And by the nose of that, they learn to do stuff. When we interact with machine, today we're using a very small subset of what we could. And I don't know why, because this is our work. So a pianist, they train it, exactly do that. Nobody gets trained to interact with a machine. So many people think that this will happen through neural links. And I would like to ask you not to take any picture of this. Obviously, you can keep recording for the school, we'll delete after. Please don't take any picture of this. There's been chips, neurochips, are already a reality. Elon Musk is working on a project where he will be able to connect your brain directly with a video stream. You close your eyes and you see a movie. And this will happen in 30 years. So what the technology is able to do today, can we connect our brains into computers? And then what can we do with them? So there is about 20 people in the world that today has a neurochip. A very, very low resolution scanner that will look at your brain, take a picture of the electric capacity of your brain, so electrically what gets activated in your brain, and by that deciding what you're thinking. So already 10 years ago, a scientist at MIT proved that if I give you 100 words, and you think about those 100 words, I can take a picture of your brain, and I can recognize what you're thinking at a 90% accuracy. So you get trained on you, you think, it records, then it will ask you to think about something, and it will guess what you said, 90% accuracy. The most important thing for me that he proved was that if you take that model, train it on one brain, and you give it to another person, you have a 67% accuracy. So it looks like that if we think of a rabbit, we activate the same area of the brain in some ways, okay? That's a very small vocabulary, 100 words, pretty small. We use 2 million words in the language complete, and about 100,000 if you want to have a good text. So, what I would like to show you today is a live demo of an interaction between a human and a machine. What is possible today is taking about 2 words, injecting those 2 words into the brain. The brain, through a Bluetooth interface, will communicate to a mobile phone, will search those on Google, and if Google is able to provide a snippet of result, so the synthesis, the person will be able to decode that information in the brain and send it back to you. So today in the world, it's possible to query Google for short things just using the brain. So the lucky thing we have today is one of those 20 people is here with us. So I would like to welcome a nickname, because I want to protect her identity, Pepper. So you guess what happened. And we have only 50% accuracy in this test. So we'll try once. If it works, we'll not try the second time. If it doesn't work the first time, then we try again one more time, okay? So only 2 words. We need something with Google as a kind of snippet. If I know this will not be possible, I will just tell you that that query is too complex. I would like to know if there is someone that is willing to ask a question that only Google can answer to Benedetta. Okay, so I think I will go with you just because you work exactly in this domain. He's working on the brain of pilots, airplane pilots analyzing the consequence.
Whatever I can retrieve.
So, what information would you like to know that you think is available on Google? And
How many inhabitants are there in Piacenza?
oh, okay. So I will have to simplify this a little bit. The air interaction uses our mobile, Google in Italian. So the input, I will translate those in Italian, and I will have to put only 2 words. And so the keyword will be abitanti Piacenza. Inhabitants of Piacenza is a small city in Italy. And I would like to show the number to them. Can you just go there and don't look at the screen so that, and then you tell us. Well, don't tell us, wait a second.
Yeah, yeah. I
What
don't
do
know
you-
how to pronounce it in writing. I saw it in writing.
Yes, give me a second. You saw it?
Yeah.
So don't look at us. I will do us. See the snippet? That is the only thing she can actually, we're not able to read the entire results. Benedetta, you can write it down if you want. Next one. You had a question too?
Yeah.
And you know, I said we'll only do once. If it works, we don't do it. But it's like
2 words.
2 words.
In Italian.
Yes.
Cervello meraviglioso.
What do you want to do with this?
Sorry.
What do you want to do? The translation?
Yeah, translation, yeah.
Oh,
We were talking about translation, so yeah.
So you would like, again, cervello meraviglioso.
Yeah, but in the language that I don't know.
This is in
I know
English, so we cannot, it will be
Spanish,
unfair. If we ask English, you already know.
Okay,
So
so
we'll ask you
put that in French.
French, okay? Here it is. Is it the snippets?
Shall I?
Please.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
The reason why we're making that close is not what you think. The reason is that we have 3 great actors here. And the 2 great actors It's just a joke. We wanted to push the reality a little bit further. But there's no reason why we do this. It's that because we have a beautiful outcome afterwards. And we wanted to set the bar high with what we think. Okay? So, imagination now is for you. Human-computer interaction is beautiful, and the future of that looks beautiful. So, please, let's have lunch.